What's up, guys? It's Blake Cook from Keller Williams. I read another book. Let me tell you about it. The book that I'm reviewing today came out in 1936. That is 83 years ago. Today I'm talking about How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. If you don't know who Dale Carnegie is, I'm not going to spoil that for you. I would love for you to go research that. It's an incredible story, really. But so Google that or YouTube it, you won't be upset. So this is one of the very first books that I read this year, and everyone kept telling me, hey, you need to read this book. It's a classic. It's a classic. Well, then I found out it was written in 1936, and it is definitely a classic, almost an antique, if you will. And I'm happy to report that this book has actionable tips to make people like you and to give you the ability to have more influence over people, not in a manipulative way, but just actually gives you things that you can do daily to make you more likable. Sounds easy, right? Not so fast. So I'm going to tell you some of my favorite parts of the entire book. So when it comes to handling people, one of the big takeaways from this book for me was do not condemn, criticize, or complain. Basically what this means is do not judge people and do not complain about people. You cannot have influence over people if they have power over you because you're constantly judging them. The second part that jumped out at me from this book when it comes to handling people is that you have to give sincere and honest feedback. Now this spoke to me because how do you give honest and sincere feedback? Sometimes it's a hard conversation, there's a lot to it, but really what it boils down to is you actually have to listen to what they're saying and try and relate to it, and then you can give them honest and sincere feedback. Now when it comes to making people like you more, these were the ones that kind of stuck out the most. Becoming genuinely interested in people. It's not easy to become genuinely interested in other people. You can't just decide you're going to do that. So here's what I've done. I try and get them to talk about something that they're genuinely excited about. Once I notice their excitement, it's very easy for me to be interested because I see how excited they are. Now, if that's not enough for me, I want to know why that excites them. The minute that I realize why it excites them, every single time I'm genuinely interested in whatever they're talking about because I like seeing their passion and excitement about it. Smiling, it is so simple, but I swear to you, this book talks about this. If you're walking through Walmart and you see somebody and you make that awkward eye contact and you're just like, oh God, and you like look away, briefly, you don't even talk to them. In that brief moment, this book says if you just smile, it changes everything. So when you're walking down Walmart and you make that brief eye contact, if you just smile at them, 9 out of 10 times they're gonna smile back. And they're not gonna say anything, and it's not gonna be awkward, but you can actually see the power of a smile. Randomly, you just have to have the courage to do it, because I know it's kind of strange at first. This next one is a direct quote from the book, and I think it's really important, especially when it comes to making people like you. Remember that a person's name to them is the sweetest and most important sound one can hear. We all know there's people that use names, and you can totally use the name too much. But if you're walking down and you see somebody you haven't seen in a while and you remember their name and you're like, hey, John, they immediately think, oh, whoa, they remember my name. Or if you're walking down someone and you didn't realize that they knew who you were, but they say your name, or you met them once and they remember your name, or they say your name and they say goodbye, it makes you feel important. It makes you feel good. Use people's names, not excessively. Don't be like, hi, John, bye, John, you want coffee, John? Hey, John, I bought a new couch. Like, you can use it too much, but just the right amount can really make someone's day. And then you have to make the other person feel important, and you have to do that sincerely. Once again, how do you create sincereness? Listen to them. It's a trend throughout this entire book. But if you're listening to them well and you're encouraging them to talk about themselves, it's going to make them feel good. Not only feel good, it's going to make them feel important. And when you start to make somebody else feel important, you're going to see a change in them, and then you might find yourself becoming genuinely interested in that person. We talked about that earlier. There's 2 other parts in this book, and I'm not even going to touch on them. It's how to be a good leader and how to win people to your way of thinking. Both of those are incredibly good, so I'm actually saving the best parts of this book, believe it or not, for the book. Definitely go read it. And now I'm going to hit you with my 3 favorite quotes from the entire book. The only way on earth to influence someone is to talk about what they're interested in and show them how to get it. When dealing with people, let us remember that we're not dealing with creatures of logic. We are dealing with creatures of emotions, creatures that are bristling with prejudices and motivated by pride and vanity. If there's any one secret to success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as your own. This is talking about perspective, and that is one of the most powerful tools that anybody can have is perspective. If you read this book, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Blake Cook from Keller Williams. If you'd like to grab coffee and talk about books, I'm all about it. Sorry I'm not into the fiction. My number comes up next. I'm out.